Now, look at these. They're absolutely fantastic and one of my favorite little collections within a collection of the whole museum, because these are special. They're little tiny bronze cannons, and you can see that someone actually made these back in early 1700s, and it could not be from anything else but a model of the ship that the person was on. So the reason we proved that is that we actually looked at the research into these little guns, and they turned out to be the same design and type as the guns on the ship. So they were modelled on the actual armament of that Dutch ship that sank in 1718. Now, when you look at them, you can see that they're actually turned on a little lathe, because the trunnions that stick out the side for the gun to balance on are not actually integrated into the barrels. So they cut a slot and put a little bit of wire in, because if they were cast, they would have the trunnions in, but being turned, you know, just on a little lathe, hand lathe or foot lathe, obviously they couldn't do that. But they were bored out, and they're all actually to scale to the guns on the ship, as I mentioned. The other interesting thing is that the reinforces, which these little rings on the barrel, they threw up a clue as well, because when I researched into the types of guns of that era, they turned out to be Swedish, and that reinforced what I'd found on one of the iron guns on the same wreck, that the inscription was in Roman numerals, whereas in European guns and Spanish guns, they're done in a different way, where you get figures to designate the weight of the gun and who founded it. These were in Roman numerals, and it turned out that the Swedish were the only ones who used Roman numerals on their guns, which then pointed me back to another bit of research that the Dutch, and this was a Dutch wreck went down in 1718, the Dutch actually bought guns off the Swedish, so that all tied in and made a lovely little story. So, as I say, these are my favourite little bits of the, you know, you can find gold and silver and things like that, but something personal that someone made makes a huge amount of difference, because it would be just wonderful to know who turned those little guns up, who they were, where they were from, obviously Dutch, but very special little exhibits.